Okay, so when I was about to chat you, I saw that your number is not Indonesian.
Yeah,
Yeah. So can you
it
tell me
was
a
a
bit about
Dutch.
that?
Yeah, it was a Dutch number because I've been doing a student exchange program in University of Twente in the Netherlands, starting from last August until this month. I just came back to Indonesia on 6th of February, 2 weeks ago, I guess. Yeah,
Okay,
but
so
uh, but
okay, continue,
but
sorry.
right now, yeah, but right now I'm planning to go back again next month, the middle of March.
To 20 again.
No, I have another student exchange on Spain
Okay.
next April, but planning to go to the Netherlands first because I have like a job interview in Amsterdam. So
Okay.
that's my
That sounds
plan so far.
that sounds great. That sounds good. Okay, what's your major?
Accounting.
Accounting. Okay, so when you went to 20, what exchange program did you get?
ISMA is like a
Oh, ISMA, yeah, that's the new one from LPDP, right?
new program, yeah, under the LPDP.
Okay, and the one that you are going to take in Spain?
Erasmus.
Oh, okay. Well, pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. So Erasmus is one semester again? One semester or
Yeah, it's actually started from it's supposed to start last January, but because I haven't finished my study in 20 until March, then I requested to postpone it on April instead, on the next quarter.
and what university in Spain?
Universitat Pompeu Fabra in Barcelona.
Oh, Pompeii, yeah. I've heard of that one. Yeah.
Pompeu Fabra. Yep.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. Okay, pretty good. Ismail. So it's must it's I think it's I don't know how I think it's a new program, isn't it? I think it's
Yeah, it's a very new program. I was the
yeah.
first batch of our
Yeah.
thesis
Yeah, I
last
was
year.
yeah, because when ISMA was when students of ISMA were studying abroad, I was looking at many of the people's Instagram, and I said ISMA because I looked at hashtag
Mm,
ISMA, right? Because I wanted to know more about ISMA. So
yeah,
what kind of program this was, so that when I teach students, I can just suggest them they have to take this exchange program. And I think there were a lot of interesting stories. Yeah, a lot of students shared their stories. Okay, so pretty accounting.
mhm.
And then you said that you have a job interview. So do you want to work in
Um,
Amsterdam?
oh yeah, I'll elaborate that more. So is my space is basically it is under Campus Merdeka program. There are a
Yep.
lot of programs in it, including internship, self-learning, and also student exchange. And I was applying into this program, student exchange, because I really wanted to do exchange since I was in middle school, and
Yeah.
I already planned to do exchange. Like I plan to have an exchange experience before I graduated. And then this program came up, and Nadim Makarim first
Yep.
goals was actually to help the students to learn something outside of their backgrounds or interests, or something like, let's say students have any others interest, and they cannot take it in their home university, so he opened up this program to the students to learn something new and also learn about other cultures in other countries. And in University of Twente, even though I'm majoring accounting in
You
University of
study something
Twente.
different, right?
Yeah, it's totally different. I was
Yeah.
studying geography, information science, and earth observation. It was crazily hard. Like I had to do programming, learning about geography, and learned about the application called GIS,
Okay.
which is hard for me at first. I tried to catch up, but my highlight was in the cultural experience, cultural exchange, and um, how I deal with the time management, because
Yeah. It's
I was also have activities back in Indonesia. Was in an organization, so having 5 to 6 hours difference, and try to manage my time was pretty hard. And also because I already had this experience in University of Twente. Let's say I have been studied in Dutch University for, even though it's just a semester, then I tried my opportunity to apply for a job in the Netherlands, in accounting and audit. And turns out I got several calls, including this company called Surianda International in Amsterdam. It's an auditing firm, international auditing firm. That's why they were interested in my application, in my resume. Actually, they wanted me to come to their office last week, but because I told them that I'm currently in Indonesia, I cannot do anything. But I will be back next month, so they said that, oh, it's okay. We can still schedule a meeting this week, and you can. I actually had a team call with the managing partner this afternoon, and he asked me to come to their office once I'm in the Netherlands next month. So
great opportunity. I mean,
that's
that's
story.
great. I mean, yeah, they're great. I mean, yeah. So I mean, if you were to compare with my time when I was in S1, I mean, we didn't have much opportunity, yeah. Like this ISMA thing, right? In the past, I mean, it was very hard to get an exchange program. Maybe I don't know whether Erasmus was there back then, but we didn't know much. I mean, because the internet was a bit new back then, so I mean, yeah, it was a bit
Yeah,
different. I mean,
understandable.
so yeah, most of the people that I watched that I saw in Instagram were people going to America. I think most of them went to UPenn, University of Pennsylvania, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think maybe that's one of the most popular choices. I don't know why. I didn't see.
I think
I didn't see much people going to the Netherlands.
I think a lot of people were applying to Korea instead
Oh, I don't know.
of in
I
the
mean,
US or Europe.
okay, so maybe
A lot of students were applying to Korea, like Korea University, UNSW University, but in the Netherlands, in University of Twente itself, there are 35 people selected to study
that's a bit.
University of
Okay, that's a lot.
Twente.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, but I mean,
That's all.
it's just maybe because from my Instagram feed, they didn't come out people. So most of them were from.
Yeah, we are not that active in our official Instagram.
Yeah. So yeah. So I mean, yeah, pretty interesting. I mean, it's very these things are very good experience. Yeah. So I mean,
True, yeah,
and I
definitely.
mean, as long as you enjoy it, before you
Mhm.
are working, before you are, especially for people who are married, I mean, this is the best chance, yeah, to get the opportunities before that time comes. And if you can get
Yes.
like, if you can get like a year or 2 years, or maybe if you can get a job in the Netherlands, that would be much better, because I mean,
Yeah.
they really appreciate you better than if you work in Indonesia. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. Also, the work-life balance was
Yeah,
so
the class.
interesting.
Yeah,
That's why I was applying
of course. I mean,
in the Netherlands.
that's one of the main differences. And I mean, they know how to maintain the balance between work and life. In Indonesia, I mean,
Mm.
I don't know. I
A
mean,
lot of overtimes.
a lot of overtime, and then you're not getting paid a lot. And especially if you work in Jakarta, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of peer
Yeah, a lot
pressure.
of pressure.
But then if you go to, I mean, if you go to if other countries, especially Western cultures, I mean, it's very much
Mm.
different. And I mean, I was enjoying looking at students, and I was looking from which universities they were coming from. Most of I saw that lots of them come from ITB, UI. I was looking for my alma mater. I'm from Brawijaya. I studied in
Oh,
Brawijaya,
okay.
Malang. I'm in Malang right now as well. So I was looking for Brawijaya. I didn't see much people from Brawijaya. I didn't see much people from UNER as well. So I didn't know if that was because I don't know why, but I mean, it's just the case because when I was at LPDP as well, I also got LPDP when I did my master's, and for my batch, there's there was like around 100 students, and 50 of them came from ITB. So
Oh, what? Wow.
50 of them came from ITB.
That is half of them here.
UB had around 4. UNER had only 1, I think. UNER had only 1. That's for my
Is
batch.
it Kak Adelia
I don't know. I
Budiar?
mean, it was about.
Okay.
I think. It was about. I got my scholarship in 2015. So I mean, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. So So okay. So that's about me. I'm in Malang. Are you in Surabaya now, or do you live in
I'm currently in
Surabaya?
Surabaya. Yeah, I'm
And
currently in Surabaya.
and are you originally from Surabaya or not?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
was born and raised here.
In which part of Surabaya?
Oh, I'm so bad at geography.
What was the name called? What's the area called? What's your area?
I live near the airport. I think it is east of
Okay.
Surabaya.
So near the
Gunung
airport?
Anyar.
Okay. Because my wife lives near the airport as well, but it's in the city. It's in the Sidoarjo part.
Yeah, I live near Sidoarjo, like behind this, next to
Oh,
my house is already Sidoarjo.
okay. So I mean, my wife lives near the McDonald's in the
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I think I noticed. Yeah, I noticed the
Yeah, it's
place.
Damarsia. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Sidoarjo is Damarsia area. If you know, if you don't know, that's fine. Okay. Yeah. So that okay, great. So when you took the ISMA, you didn't have the IELTS test.
No,
What did you take?
I took TOEFL ITT instead
Okay,
because it's cheaper.
the cheaper, and I mean, of course, it's people will
Easier.
find the cheaper and the easier one. Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's fine as long as they accept it. I think some of the ISMA students took Duolingo as well.
Yeah, Duolingo,
Yeah,
but
because
it's more expensive.
yeah, IELTS is much more expensive at 3 million.
Yeah, I was planning to take IELTS test for the ISMA program, but I couldn't find any available date to
Yeah,
take the
because
test. It was full.
yeah, because I think at that time it was not only ISMA open. I think LPDP is also open maybe.
Okay.
So when
Yeah,
LPDP
that's fine.
opens, every IELTS center is full booked.
Will be full. Oh, okay.
So now LPDP is opening. LPDP is opening in the 25th
This
of
month.
February. Yep, this month at
Oh,
the end
yeah.
of this month. So if you are looking for a spot, you better book one for not this month, but maybe for next month. And I suggest you, since you're in Surabaya, I think it's better for you to take the computer test because there's one in the Park One area, the landmark area. So that's the only one in Surabaya that provides computer-based
Very
test.
far. Okay.
Other than that, it's all paper-based test. But if you want to take the
Okay.
paper-based test, that's also fine.
Is it easier with paper-based test or computer-based test?
If you're used to technology, it'll be much more easier in
Paper. A computer. Okay.
If you like the feeling of writing, and then those kind of things, it's better to take a paper-based. It costs the same, and there's not much of a difference. But for speaking, you'll be talking to a person live, so that's the only similarity.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about IELTS. So we've discussed our background, we've discussed about each other. So, I mean, as you know, the IELTS has four parts, right? Right. It'll start with listening, and then it'll move on to reading. You move on to writing, and then the last one is speaking. Now, with me, we'll just focus on speaking. So for the speaking, it will take around 10 to 15 minutes, depending on the flow. Yeah, depending on the flow of your test. Okay, and in speaking, there are three parts. Yeah. Now, the first part asks question about you, or about you or your surroundings. Okay, surroundings means it can be your area where you live, about your family, and so on. And then in part two, you are asked to make and deliver a short talk. This short talk will be 2 minutes. So you have to speak for 2 minutes, and the preparation time is only 1 minute.
Can you elaborate more about the short talk?
I will show you later what's the example of the short talk. So basically, it's that you'll be given a topic, and this topic will contain 4 questions. Okay, you'll be given a piece of paper to take notes, and then you have 1 minute to prepare those notes, to make those notes and prepare your ideas, and then after the 1 minute finish, you have 2 minutes to speak, to deliver your ideas. Okay, so this is the most challenging for most people, because it's the preparation time is only 1 minute, and for most, I think not for most, for all people, I think it's not enough. And then for part 3, the questions are more, what do I call it? More argumentative. So it's ask your opinion.
Okay.
Ask your opinion. Okay. So in general, in IELTS, whether it's speaking, listening, reading, writing, not only does it test your English skills, but this is the most important one. It also tests your general knowledge. Okay, so why? What do you mean by general knowledge? So because if you maybe if you ever looked at an IELTS test before, if you ever heard of someone talking about IELTS test, that most of the topics are academic. Okay, so for example, you can get in reading, in writing, in listening, or in speaking, especially in part 3, maybe the topic may be talking about marine ecosystem. It can be talking about. It can be talking about. It can be talking about economy. It can be talking about education and so on. But most of the cases are usually related to social issues. That's, I think, 60 to 70% are around social issues. But sometimes you can get topic about marine ecosystem, talking about environment, talking about real estate and property and those kind of things. Okay, so I mean that's why it also tests your general knowledge. Okay, so now let's look at an example then. What's an example of a writing past part? As I can see, this is part 1, this is part 2, and this is part 3. Let's focus on each part first. Okay, so now let's look at this one. So it talks about health. I'm getting to know you. How important is health for you? So the first question will be, is it important to you to eat healthy food? Please answer.
All right. For me, eating healthy food is very important because it will affect us in the long term. Like what we are doing right now, the current foods that we are eating will determine whether we will live longer in the future or not. And let's say we are, for example, we are currently only eating a junk food, which means it will also shorten our lifespan. And also, if we not only eating the healthy food but also balance it with a healthy lifestyle, it will not only going to make our lifespan longer, but also will makes us look younger and yeah, and look younger, and also
Okay, no problem.
So
yeah, so for part 1, you don't have to. I mean, this is just the basic strategies and tips for.
Yeah.
I'll tell you each part, and we will delve more. Yeah, we will look into it more later on with our courses. So I'll just talk a bit about each part. I won't talk too much because what I want to see now is how well you do the speaking. I don't want to comment on how good or bad you are right now, but I will give you some evaluation points. So basically, in part 1, what you need to do, you don't have to talk too much. Maybe just give me like a max of 3 to 4 sentences. That's okay. So for example, is it important to you to eat healthy food? Yes, I think it's very important. For some people, eating healthy food is not that important, but for me personally, it's very important, as I am a health addict and I like to maintain my weight. So eating what kind of food I eat is very important. Full stop.
All right.
Because in yours, you were like talking about lifespan. So your answer is much more of an answer for part 3. So part 3 needs much more elaboration, needs more examples. So those kind of things. So I mean, it's not wrong, but in part 1, we need to get like just give your answer, give your reason, give one what is it called? One supporting idea, and then move on to the next question.
Okay.
So we don't want to spend too much time on part 1. Okay, so the next question. If you catch a cold, what do you do to help you feel better?
If I catch a cold, I will sleep and take the medicine, and then I believe the next day I will feel better.
Okay. Okay, so that's one. I mean, there's no right or wrong answers in IELTS speaking. So as long as you can deliver your answers well, that's fine. So let's just say if you catch a cold, what do you do to help you feel better? Usually I don't take anything. I just go to bed, and eventually when I wake up, it goes away. Something like that.
Okay.
Or maybe if you catch usually I get a medicine, I drink it, I go to sleep, and then when I'm awake, feels much better. So I mean, there's a lot of choices you can do, or you can just say. Usually, I drink a cup of coffee to warm myself up, and then I drink a tolak angin, which is an Indonesian medicinal herb, and then I go to sleep. It can be different, yeah. It doesn't matter, yeah. You don't have to be gak harus yang orang-orang kebanyakan kayak gini. No, you don't have to be. You have to go like that. Okay. Then the next one. What could you do to have a healthier lifestyle?
I could eat healthier and take exercise 3 times a week. And by doing that, I will have a healthier lifestyle than I ever before.
Okay. Okay. So what can you do to have that? I mean, there are a lot of things. You can do exercise. Or you can just say like, okay, so what can you have? Like I said before, Jadi, we can always refer to the answers that we've given beforehand. So when we talk about healthy food is very important. Like what I said before, eating healthier food is one of the ways, yeah, to maintain a healthier lifestyle. Other than that,
Okay.
you can also have good exercises and so on. Okay, so again, so this is part one. It can be talking about health, or it can. So I mean, this is just maybe this is one of more of an advanced topic. One of the easier topics, just asking about your favorite color. Okay, so sometimes they just ask, "What's your favorite color?" Or sometimes, "How big is your family?" Or sometimes, "How do you go to school?" Or "How do you go to university?" So those kind of questions. I mean,
that's for part 1.
Yes, for part one.
Okay.
Okay, so part one is much of the simpler questions, but sometimes people have a hard time because they are not used to spontaneous speaking. And in IELTS speaking, this is one of the, I mean, this is the basic thing, yes, spontaneous speaking. You have to be able to speak spontaneously. Okay, now let's look at part two. Okay, so this is, they'll give you a piece of paper like this, and then they'll give it to you with a piece of paper and a pencil, and then you have to speak for 2 minutes. Okay, let's try. Let's just try.
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Test. Hello? Test, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, my internet connection was unstable. Okay,
Okay.
so let's just try this. Okay, let's try. I'll give you 1 minute to prepare your short talk, and let's see how well you do. Okay, I haven't explained anything about this, so it's okay if you make mistakes or whatnot. Okay, so don't worry too much. You could just do the best as you can. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll give you your 1 minute of preparation starts now. You can take notes on your computer anywhere you like. Okay, that's the end of your 1 minute. Okay, just speak as long as possible. Okay, I will stop you at 2 minutes. Okay, just try to speak as long as possible. Okay, so your 2 minutes start.
So
Yes?
I will just say
Yes.
everything in one.
Yes,
Okay.
in one go. Okay, Okay, so your 2 minutes starts now.
Okay, hi, what? Where are you? I've been waiting for you for like an hour, and I expected you to come on time. We already have an appointment at 8 a.m. and now it's 9 a.m. Could you please tell me why are you being so late? I feel so disappointed on you that you cannot come based on our schedule and appointment, and now we will be late on our next appointment, and it will also affect my next schedule, which is I have another meeting with my organization. Oh, it's not 2
Okay, no
minutes.
problem. It's understood. Okay, so there's one thing. Okay, so I mean, it's just like I did again. There was no expectation from me. If you had a problem, that was fine because I haven't explained anything to you anyway. So what we had to do is we had to provide a short talk. So what you did was
Oh,
you made like a role play or something like that. So it's
oh
a bit
yeah,
different.
sorry.
No problem, no problem.
I
Yeah.
thought it's like I have to talk and then that's
Okay,
all.
so
So I also have to
so
make
so
two
an
people conversation.
no, so an example is like this. Okay, so we describe about this is we are usually when we talk about part two, we're talking about our experience. So for example, usually I would start like, okay, so now I'd like to describe an occasion where I had to wait for someone to arrive. So this happened, I think it was like 2 years ago when I was in 20. So when I was in 20, I was waiting for a friend at the bus station, and I had to wait for around an hour. So we arranged a meeting at around 8, but she came at around 9. So this was very long, and I had to wait outside because of the cold weather. It was snowing heavily, so it was very cold at that
Mhm.
time. So and I wanted to go to a cafe, but I was worried that if I went to a cafe, I would miss my friend. So that's why I had to stand in front of the bus station. So
Okay.
we planned to meet each other because we wanted to travel together to Amsterdam by bus. So we
Mhm.
wanted to visit Amsterdam on a weekend and enjoy and explore Amsterdam together, and then we could, for the date, and then come back 20. And when I was waiting, I was very cold because it was raining, it was snowing heavily, and also, I mean, who likes waiting anyways? Yeah? No one likes waiting, and at that time, I had to wait for an hour. Imagine that, waiting an hour in snow, blah 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 blah. So again,
Okay, just
you had to give.
understand the assignment.
So again, yeah, that was fine. I so why I asked you to why I asked you to speak to prepare instantly without any explanations. I just wanted to see how you interpreted this assignment.
Mhm.
Okay, so I mean, people have different interpretations, right? But basically, what you have to do is you have to give like based on your experience. Usually it's based on our
Okay.
experience.
So
Okay, so
it's more
that's
like explaining things, right?
explaining
But
things, right?
okay.
And explaining things, and we have to speak for 2 minutes, around 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so that's part two.
Okay.
Now let's move on to part three. As you can see, the topic in part three, you can be asked about several topics. So this one is about arriving early. This one about being patient. So if you look at the kind of questions, it's much more of an argumentative, debatable questions. It asks about your opinion. So let's look at the first one. In what kinds of situations should people always arrive early? Please answer.
So in my opinion, in every formal appointments, when it's in of every formal appointments, you have to come early or on time, especially when you have to meet with your teachers, having an appointment with your doctors, or when you have a job interview. It's very important to arrive early because it will also show that you have it shows a good attention of you and shows that um, you are serious about the appointment. But when it comes to more like a friendly meeting with your friends, I think it's still acceptable to come later, especially if your whole group of friends are the same like that, like to come later, like an hour or 30 minutes later. But once again, in my opinion, if it's more like a formal appointments, you have to always come early.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, that's one of the answers that you can provide. Yeah, so yeah, that's good. So you gave a reason why. So you can talk about formal, and then you could say So when you come early or on time on a formal appointment, it shows your seriousness, it shows your appreciation, it shows your discipline. Yes, I mean there's a lot of things that you can mention. Okay.
Yeah.
And then let's look. How important is it to arrive early in your country?
So because I live in Indonesia and I feel like a lot of occasions are not early, not just friendly meeting, but also even in formal events, it's usually conducted very late. So in my opinion, arrive early is not necessary unless it's a job interview. So it's very important for you to come early to show that you are serious with this job. But if it's more like an event, like you are being invited in the government events, in your friend's wedding, I think come later is not not come arrive early is not necessary in my country, in Indonesia.
Okay, one of the many ways that you could explain. And then maybe you can relate to the culture. Okay, so how important in the Indonesian culture, there's this phrase that we usually use. It's called jam molor. Yeah, so
Okay.
jam molor means that people are often arriving very late. And I think in the Indonesian culture, coming very late is very accepted. Even in some formal situations, it's also accepted. So I think it's not that important. Blah blah blah.
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, let's look at one more. What kind of let's look at this one. What kind of jobs require the most patience?
I think the jobs that require the most patience is on sales or customer service, because you have to deal with a lot of people who like to complain about the products in the company that you work in, or you're being the sales in the company, and your clients are not ready to take the sales and everything like that. It will make you frustrated, and of course you have to be one of the requirement in the job vacancy must be you have to have a lot of patience, because dealing with people is very hard. You have to be patient.
Yeah, very good, nice. Okay, yeah. So again, very good answer. Okay, so that basically it summarizes, yeah, how give you a highlight, yeah, of how a speaking test is designed. So it starts off with something easy, okay, to just get your confidence up, and then you go to the challenging part, and the last one goes, it asks about your opinion. So this is the highlight, and we will talk more about speaking later on during the course. So there are a lot of things that we haven't discussed. So we can talk more about that later on. Okay, so do you have any questions, Dewi?
Yeah, I actually I've never taken any IELTS test before. I only been able to take TOEFL ITP so far.
Okay.
Okay. Never taken the IELTS before, so having this opportunity to know the parts in each speaking section is very useful.
Yeah.
And and also the second part, I just understood what I just understood the instruction.
Yeah,
I thought I have to make like a conversation.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And that's why I always tell people, even though there people sometimes are they like underestimate the IELTS test. They think that they are good at IELTS, but then if you don't know what type of questions they are, even though you are good, then may have a lot of problems. So that's why it's there's no what is it called? It's always a good it's always a good opportunity to just try to learn about the IELTS test. So that's why. Okay. Anything else that maybe you want to ask or you're curious about?
So can you like give me an opinion on what aspect should I improve based on this simulation?
Okay, so basically when I was talking to you at the beginning of the session, I was asking you about a lot of things. Showed that you have very good speaking skills. You are confident, so that's one of the most important aspects in speaking is confidence. And you showed that. And in terms of the grammar, I don't think it's much of a problem. And in speaking, grammar is not really that important. As long as I can understand you, that's fine.
Okay.
And maybe however, when we did the IELTS test, there was some problems in the way you delivered the ideas. So maybe that's one of the ways that we can later improve. So how do we deliver the ideas? And maybe we could also improve the vocabulary, because vocabulary is one of the ways you can get additional scores. So for example, if you use show all the time, it's different by using exhibit and so on. So I mean, we will talk more about that. Okay, but in general, I think you won't have any difficulties once you know what to do about the IELTS speaking. That's my thing.
Okay, I'll keep it on mind. Thank you.
Okay, great. So okay. So I think that will end our simulation for today. So hopefully we'll meet again later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Dewi.
Bye bye.
And have a nice night.
You too.